Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into a universally fascinating phenomenon today. It's something that feels almost supernatural, right? Yet it happens entirely within the landscape of our own minds. Yep, we are unpacking the profound mystery of déjà vu. We're going to look closely at what the latest neuroscience and psychology can actually tell us about this, and we'll break down exactly what is happening in your mind when this bizarre sensation strikes.
Picture this for a second. Have you ever walked into a room, or maybe you're just right in the middle of a totally normal conversation, when suddenly, for this brief, visceral moment, every single word, every gesture, every tiny detail feels strangely, incredibly familiar? You know for a fact it's impossible. You know with absolute certainty that this is the literal first time you're experiencing this exact moment. And yet the feeling is so powerful, so undeniable, that it completely stops you in your tracks. You just can't help but think, wait, I've been here before.
Section 1. The universal experience. What is happening right now?
That crazy contrast between what we know is logically true and what we feel in that exact split second is just staggering. So, to start, let's clearly define what the whole shebang actually is. Déjà vu is a French phrase, and it literally translates to already seen. But honestly, that simple definition masks a highly complex sensation. It is one of the most common, yet wonderfully mysterious, shared human experiences in the world. It entirely transcends cultures, languages, and backgrounds. We all get it.
It's a mystery shared by millions. In fact, studies suggest that most of us are going to experience it at least once in our lives. Now, some people encounter it rarely, maybe just a fleeting moment once a decade, while others experience it surprisingly often. But here's what's truly fascinating. Despite decades of rigorous scientific research, we still do not have a single definitive explanation that fully accounts for every déjà vu experience. Is it a forgotten memory? Is it a glitch? Well, let's look at the science.
Section 2. Brain timing and processing delays. A tiny glitch in the system.
Okay, let's dive into this. This brings us to the first major scientific theory coming straight from the world of neuroscience. This theory looks mechanically at how our brains process incoming information from the world around us. Normally, what we see and experience is processed by our brain almost instantly, in absolute perfect synchronization. But occasionally, a tiny delay occurs. Information enters the brain through slightly different pathways. Notice how signal 1, representing the present moment, arrives just a fraction of a second before signal 2. Because of that microscopic gap, your brain mistakenly interprets the delayed signal of the present moment as something it's already experienced. The present is briefly, accidentally cataloged as a memory.
You can think of the process in 3 quick steps. First, the scene occurs. Second, a tiny processing delay happens in your neural pathways. And third, because of that delay, the scene feels completely familiar. I want you to imagine watching the exact same scene of a movie twice in rapid succession. That second viewing feels familiar because your brain has technically already processed it. This theory suggests that this biological glitch makes a brand new moment feel exactly like something you've already processed and stored away.
Section 3. Memory and pattern recognition. Connecting the present to the forgotten. Now, let's shift gears from pure neuroscience to a more psychological perspective. This second prominent theory focuses heavily on how subtle similarities to our past can trigger this grand illusion. Sometimes, a totally new place, person, or situation shares incredibly subtle, subconscious similarities with our past. It could be something as simple as the exact angle of sunlight falling through a window, or a particular faint scent lingering in the air, the specific pitch or tone of someone's voice, or even just the underlying emotion connected to a moment. You see, our brains are absolute master pattern recognition machines. We subconsciously recognize these tiny fragments, even if we can't consciously remember the original event that created them.
So that familiarity emerges by connecting the present moment to these hidden fragments of forgotten memories. Under the psychological theory, we haven't actually lived this exact moment before. Actually, scratch that. It's more like our mind is seamlessly, brilliantly stitching the details of our present reality to memories hidden way, way down beneath our conscious awareness. Your brain is essentially running a highly advanced background search, finding a partial match, and then giving you that overwhelming sense of, oh wow, I know this.
Section 4. The meaning behind the mystery. Why it feels so profound.
Now, I want to validate something that a lot of you might be feeling right now. Because honestly, sometimes clinical explanations, like processing delays and pattern recognition,
they just don't fully capture that incredibly powerful, almost magical feeling of the experience itself. There's a vast difference between simple familiarity and what déjà vu often feels like, deep recognition. It can feel like we literally know what comes next. It's not just "I've seen this room," it's "I know the exact words you are about to say." And this profound sense of predictive recognition is exactly why déjà vu has utterly captivated philosophers, spiritual traditions, and curious minds for generations.
Because science hasn't entirely closed the book on this yet, many people believe déjà vu reflects deeper layers of consciousness. Others suggest it hints at our reality is far more complex than we realize, maybe touching on the nature of time itself. And some simply view it as one of life's beautiful, unsolvable mysteries. Now, we aren't looking at these as proven scientific facts, but rather as deeply fascinating possibilities. They perfectly reveal our natural human desire to search for deep meaning whenever we encounter highly unusual experiences.
Section 5. Embracing the unknown, the beauty of our unexplained minds. As we wrap up our analysis today, I think it's really important to shift our perspective just a little bit. Perhaps the most interesting question isn't definitively, is déjà vu real? Because clearly millions of people experience the sensation. The much better question is why the human mind creates it in the first place. It acts as a small crack in the ordinary flow of life. And every time déjà vu occurs, it serves as exactly that. It's a beautiful, brief reminder of how little we truly understand about the inner workings of memory, the fragility of perception, and the vast depths of human consciousness. It's a glitch, for sure, but a deeply poetic one.
At the end of the day, the human brain remains one of the greatest mysteries in the universe. Understanding déjà vu isn't just about finding cold, hard, definitive answers. It's about encouraging us to keep asking questions. In a world where we are constantly seeking absolute certainty, déjà vu gently reminds us that some mysteries are still waiting to be explored. It keeps us curious. So I want to leave you with this final thought and a question. What about you? Have you ever experienced déjà vu so strongly that it just stopped you dead in your tracks? Did it feel like a simple processing glitch, a forgotten memory, or something much deeper that you still can't quite explain? I invite you to reflect on your own unexplainable moments. The mind is a spectacular landscape, and behind every mystery there is always a deeper why waiting for you to explore. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the extraordinary world inside your head.